Hello, it's just like today I was making my list of companies I want to watch annual report every year to make sure I have a good understanding of the actual set of company I'm interested with, and also on mostly on study. And this is one of the most well-known company in the world. They are really active on assets like bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, and it's really make me doing having this on my first line on the listing of top company I want to watch annual report almost every year, and I will be able to do that probably for other than this company, but the aim is to better understand one single things: my relationship between numbers between numbers and legislations. And these are requirements because these are one part of requirement for a company to show up with what they have done as profit for more people to invest, and for all people to know what they have done, and for the market also to follow up with probably they're planning on other activities, mutual fund, hedge fund, whatever, private equity fund. They look for they look for company to invest in, and having an annual report is required for you to showcase aside to your all requirement. As you have an accounting cycle, you have the quarterly filing, depending on the kind of company you have, or you have to keep your book for stocks, you have to keep calculation of indices, to borrow money, or there is calculation you have to do, or also to have your line of credit at the right level. Sometimes people have a line of credit, they don't want to use it at the maximum if they don't want to, just like some company make some safety company. So I'm gonna, who is this man on the picture. It's really a pleasure to read this and other document. Probably the next one, I don't know which one will be. Mr. Saylor, a great believer on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and with planning too. So I really like the company, and I really like the pulse or the effect they drive into the crypto market all the time they act on crypto. It sounds a lot of crazy for a lot of people, but it's a company, and I know for a fact they have a planning all the time they do that. It's really a great company to watch around here. Documentation. It's a 122 page documents, and the number of pages doesn't really matter for all companies, but all companies do have this for investor or for just people who like reading things, and other people who like reading things to make decisions. No, just like me. or investment decisions. So you can have names. They register in Delaware, and this is United States Security Exchange Commission based Form 10K. So Washington DC 25 4 and 9. So Form 10K annual report pursuant to Section 13 or 15D of the Security Exchange Act of 1935. That's where they have been checking. The second one is not checked. The second one is a transition, but it is not the purpose of this document. So the first one was checked, and the second one empty, left empty. So MicroStrategy Incorporated. So this is the address. So reason why I say when you create a company, I know there is secrecy behind a lot of things in your company probably, but filings, just like you can see online, you can tap any president of the United States or overseas, at least if I'm not wrong, you're gonna see the 1040, you're gonna know the Prime Minister. I have been washing and publishing, also republishing also some 1040 of, because it makes sense for people to know that if you want to know, you can know, no? It's just like it's filing for a reason. There is some kind of privacy around some kind of things, but these numbers are numbers. They don't make you enter inside the office to see what they're doing, but you can see what they're doing in numbers here. And what they do in numbers is mostly interesting for people to invest and make decisions. Now, and even competitor of MicroStrategy can read this to know that they have been beaten by MicroStrategy this year again, because the profit is visible on these documents. For MicroStrategy also to know on reading the annual report of other company that they did great than those company, or they didn't do great. No, great. That's how it works. So you need this kind of document. So there is a lot of information here. There is profit and loss statement, revenue, and by reading this, I discovered like MicroStrategy don't just invest on Bitcoin, but they have license, also subscription on some kind of software-based product. Probably, I never checked deeply everything about MicroStrategy, but I know they used to invest a lot on cryptocurrency, mostly Bitcoin. So these are numbers. Probably this is how it have been happening since the beginning. 28, I think it's 2018. So you have a big zero, you have a big 100 something. It's probably yes, comparison of 5 years cumulative total return, assume initial investment of 1000. So these are graph you can better appreciate in comparison to some other graph, you know. So yeah, MicroStrategy Incorporated, we have Nasdaq Nasdaq Composite Index, and then Nasdaq Computer Index. So that's what is writing down on the graph. So and then you can read more and more and more and more and more. Yes, this is our numbers on balance, like since the beginning 2020, the balance by 31, which is the closing cycle or the closing accounting cycle for 2020 for the MicroStrategy company. Digital asset purchases, digital asset impairment losses, and it's pretty positive around here since 2020 until 2022, passing by 2021. So we have the balance at the end of the year 2020 and the end of the year 2021 and the end of the year 2022. You can see sales, you can see impairment on losses, just like it happened. For instance, if you deliver a city of software, it can be broken on the process of delivery, so it's an impairment at some point, or some kind of bugs, you know, after installing the software. So, that all things cost money. That's really interesting to see that we have here operating highlights. So we have product licenses, just like I said, subscription licenses. Those are very, very interesting numbers. and then we have product support, other services, so you can see how the revenue is. And we have cost of revenue, or what we name in regular most of the time on the lingo, cost of goods sold. Here it's cost of revenue, so the same thing. And total cost, so you have the total cost and then you have the gross. The gross is mostly when you take the cost of revenue out of the revenue, and the gross is before taxes, so it's positive 2022 and 2021. So you can see that here, and 2021 here. So and then this is the cost of revenue or cost of goods sold, and this is also the cost of goods sold for the year 2021, and this is the revenue itself. So you're gonna take this minus the 100 to something here, the 510 here, minus the cost of goods sold, 91,909. So it's pretty simple, like it's a counting based document. So this is one of the most important way to communicate with the public, investor, even competitor. There is a lot of company here. They buy shares of different kind of company. For instance, Apple, Amazon, or whatever. They buy from each other at some point. And they sometimes even borrow money to each other. Borrow money. So okay, this is our reconciliation from non-GAAP losses from operations. So I'm gonna go down here. Yes, this is a much more broad, open kind of revenue things. Exchange currency rate, so probably international. Okay, but they are very cool. Marketing expenses, other service revenues, selling marketing expenses. So you do advertisement, research and development expenses, general and administrative expenses, paper, staplers, markers, pen, the cost money. Everything is listed here. Marketing, want to do hard, and it's really interesting. MicroStrategy is one of these. I can see here to have a positive valuation. Just by watching, I can see the valuation is positive. It's a worthy investment if they open for investment and you have the money for it. So the offering here, we have 122 pages, so I'm still at 50 something. I want to rush a bit. Okay, cost and expenses. Okay, education, consulting. Probably they provide licensing and subscription for software, and then they have to train those people using the software. Sometimes they do consulting on adding probably more connect software companies. So probably what you can see, consulting, education. That's mean education. They do training for their own employee and training for other employee when they give software. I never tried to watch MicroStrategy from close, but from far away, if I'm not wrong, it's a kind of Microsoft at some point. But they starting Microsoft since 2020 year. If I'm not wrong. So in this document you have, according to this filing, is a 10K from the SEC. So it's a requirement, if I'm not wrong. Mostly I don't used to be wrong because I can see how it is here. But when I'm wrong, I always change my direction. That's what I used to do because I don't like wasting my time on wrong thing. So the purpose of the live is to show you how it's important to learn to produce documents aside to doing your business. It's not just a beautiful thing to say I have a business, but it's beautiful to say that I have a business and I have record. Now, organize all things on file. And it takes to have people, you can't master the 360 degrees of your whole business. And you need professional, you need, you need people, marketers, people genius in different kind of fields, because it's not a hangout, it's a business. It's not a hobby, it's a business. So liquidity. So it's pretty safe company. So probably I'm gonna try to do this often, and a number of so we have Kevin Atkinson. There's people, these are company executive probably. They have a cash bonuses determination for certain executive officer. Yes, it's a list of executive with their bonuses. So it's 770,000 and bonus probably. That's interesting. Aside to your salary, you have. It's a pretty wealthy company. I can see that, because that means those executives did great and they reach milestones, or they reach some kind of roadmap, and then they have all of this. That's interesting. And probably if you're one of the sons, so this year you're gonna have some. That year you're gonna have some gift, you too. But it's always like say someone. It's always a good thing to recognize your lieutenant. No, I mean by the story was a book. They say that it's always a great thing to recognize your lieutenant, and also the right time. So it just means that it's always good to recognize those who have done great on your business, or your activities. Don't try to play like you didn't see what they did and try to discredit them because they won't do the same thing the next time. Bonuses are a way to do that. Rewards are a way to keep people. And sometimes you can give them a vacation somewhere. The ticket is paid, the hotel is paid. Let's see when you're gonna come back. So that's how. But you have to drive money on company, because these people are doing great. They receive these bonuses because they did something, and the bonus can be 1% of what they have been producing. If I don't want to say 10%. So imagine if you have 99 and it takes 1% to pay a bonus to someone. It's not something bad. It's a great thing for a business, and the other part gonna pay taxes. And as bonuses normally are not taxable, but they can be reportable, if I'm not wrong. So this is the numbers. This is 2022. It's already passed. The next is coming. So the main focus on doing this is to make you aware if doing business, you gotta be having, and this has been made by KPMG, McLean, Virginia, February 16, 2023. I know McLean's Virginia, yes. Virginia, KPMG, I don't know where it used to be in Virginia, but I don't know where it's McLean. I have been around there. I remember Oracle, close to Reston. The Reston Transit Center closed like some miles, because if you're living which area? Yes, it's in close to Herndon, because I was living in Herndon, Virginia. So McLean is not somewhere. I don't really.
Oh, was it behind your door?
So the all things here is to exchange about the record keeping side of the of any company. It's really an important thing to keep record. It's not like you have choice. It's not really, you don't really have choice, because one day someone gonna ask you a question, you don't have any answer, you know, and it's really kind of cumbersome to deal with, and with question that way having no answer. And so here we have assets. This is the balance sheet. So we have assets, liability, and shareholder deficit equity, and then we have total liability, commitment and contingencies, stockholders deficit equity. So okay, they don't have short-term liability here. Probably should have some around here, because on balance sheet it's supposed to have some long-term and short-term liability, but probably they group them together. Yes, there is long-term here. I can see down here all the long-term liabilities. Yes. Mostly used to be a section. It's supposed to be on bolt, but long-term liabilities, operation lease liabilities, long-term debts. It is also liability long-term. But somewhere down, I was reading rental supposed to be here too as a short-term liability, because short-term liability mostly are rental things, like the rent where you live, the things you rent to work, like you use some machineries, but you don't own them. You have to rent them for some kind of things. You want to do excavation. For instance, your construction company. This is not a construction company. It's a software-based company. They like investing on Bitcoin. I need to know more about it. But if you have a construction company, sometimes you rent some equipment, right? Sometimes some people even rent people, manpower, because you don't want to hire someone going to do excavation for the whole life. At least you have the whole life project. You can take some kind of people, manpower, just they have to handle those kind of things for 6 months, and they're going to go to do something else with another company. So those are short-term liabilities, like rental of where you at least you own that building is short-term rental. Now it used to be a section. Our current liabilities is a yes, I get that. It's current liability here, not short-term. They didn't use short-term name. Okay, it's under liabilities and shareholder deficit equity. It's current liability or short-term. Sometimes people name that current liabilities. Okay, account payable, accrued expenses, and operating lease liabilities. It's much more sophisticated the way they put it here. They didn't want to say about rental, they mix everything together. There is account payable. Probably they pay everything off. Reason why. So let's see. Okay, accrued compensation and employee benefits, accrued interest, current portion of long-term debts, and deferred revenue and advance payment. And then we have the total current liabilities is $317,403 for the 2022. Actually, last year, because the other 2022 is not yet done. It's still ongoing. It's ongoing concern. So, and then we have long-term debts, which is probably loans, some kind of things, like, because loans are long-term, and the minimum you can have is 24 months loan. It's really not really happen to have 12. People need some time to pay back your money. So for 24 until a lot, 20, not 24, 48, sometimes 32, some kind of things like that. It depends how much year you want, and then you're gonna put, but it always starts by 24, so 2 years. So reason why long term, no, long term is everything's mostly, if I can take the old lingo, it's after 6 months, let's say after 1 year, everything's after 1 year you have to pay on monthly payment is a long-term liability, or let's say around 2 years. But sometimes it happen to be 6 months, after 6 months. But let's try to be to abuse, no? I will try to abuse you. So after 2 years, it's long term. Just let's say that it's just an abuse. It's not really the reality, because it depends of what you are dealing with. Some things happen to be 6. Some stuff happen to be 1 year. Some stuff can be just the way we have been taking the assumptions 2 years. Just an assumption. So whatever 6, 1, it's included on 2 years. So you're safe to say that it's long term. So deferred revenue and advance payment, probably deferred will be a compound based effect. Probably they do some day trainings, some kind of things like that. And then we have operating lease, liabilities, So those are the long-term on lease liability. Interesting. What is this one? Okay, let's order long-term liabilities. It's not really well detailed. Probably there is another form. There is a statement of operation. It don't really happen that all companies do have a statement of operation. Mostly we have profit and loss statement, statement of cash flow or income statement, and balance sheet. Those are the most people use. But it's interesting that I have been discovering here there is a statement of operation after this form. So we have the total liability and shareholder deficit equity. Everything is written down here, and total are mostly the best way. Let's say total are mostly the way to go if you don't want to waste your time reading this kind of documents. You take total assets minus total liability, we're good. So you don't have to worry too much. But going through the detail give you more insight on learning about what is the company. So that's what you try to intend you being part of. All of this, our society, our clubs, everything's doing around business. Try to explain you what is the shortest way you can get the information you want, but going through the detail make much more sense too, for you to better appreciate what you are dealing with and where you are going with it, and using which kind of pathway. So knowing your math, knowing your numbers is one of the best criteria you have to have when it comes to business. You have to know your math, you have to know your numbers. I mean by your numbers, every number you're interacting with, every number you are building, every number in relationship or with link to your business or businesses. I like saying businesses because you are not on business to do one business. You want business to be a serious business, man, because that's how you drive more income, that's how you drive more money. Businesses, one, it's okay, but more is always good. It's always great. People have a strange relationship with the word good, let's say great. So, and then I'm gonna have that statement of operation down here. It's a consolidated statement of operations, of operation for Macro Strategy Incorporated. So it's pretty simple, pretty well made. It's clear, but still having a few details because they don't want to give you too much detail. That's what makes sense. As if you go for a journal, at that time you want to make an audit. You don't need to do an audit to invest for a company. No, what you need is to know numbers. How much profit they have made, whatever things they do. You can go learn about what they do online. Pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear all of this here. You have the revenue. The total revenue is 599,264 for 2022. It's going down. We have the cost of revenue or cost of goods sold. which is $102,989. So minus the first number I was reading to the second number, which is the cost of goods sold, you have $396,274 with $275, and that's the gross profit. Just like I used to say, the gross profit is the profit before paying taxes. So you have the revenue, the gross profit, and then the profit. But down here we have operating expenses. That's the cost of goods sold. Probably you have to take the expenses too, yes, because you have operating expenses, sales and marketing, research and development, general and administrative. Just like I say, pen and paper cost money, administrative cost. And mostly you're gonna buy a lot of pen, you're gonna buy a lot of paper, you're gonna buy a lot of ink, toners for printers. They cost money. There is also some candies. People like putting, some company like putting candies on table. No, they're not free. So you gotta pay for it. They're free for people who hate them. They come in. And then you have losses for operations, so you have more information, you can read. And you have the basic loss per share, which is the weighted average share outstanding, or the WACC. I was doing that course yesterday on the University of Geneva financial markets with Mr. Michael Gerardin, yes, and Tony Berado. So, and a bunch of kind of things. It's really an interesting course on Coursera, as I use my Coursera stamp University of Arizona. I also LinkedIn stamp State University. So I always am doing something. The WACC is the weighted average share outstanding. The PE ratio. I don't talk about it here. The PE ratio, the price of the share dividing by earnings per share. So this is all about sharing the right way to do things, and this is a Form 10K SEC, Security Exchange Commission. So this is going through more detail about common stocks, classification of stocks, you name it, and how they're available and how much they're gonna cost, or how much they was costing at that time. Probably this is we have different news coming from different years, but this is pretty clear for the opening. They have a simple cycle here, so starting by January the 1st and ending by December the 31. So you have the starting the company start reporting by 2020 January the 1st. That's the balance at the starting of the year, and then we have the balance at the end of the year at 31 December 2020, and then another year, because this balance will be reported for the next year, right? At 31, you report that balance to the next year for the next accounting cycle, and then you end up at December 31 always 2021. And then you have the other the same thing, you report the last balance to the next cycle, and you keep on going. That's how name that accounting cycle. So, and then we have a statement of cash flow or income statement here. So for those who do investing, those who know what is business, those on accounting, even tax professional, we deal a lot with this kind of document sometimes when it comes to companies, depend on what you're trying to do with that company. But everything is written. There is depreciation, amortization, adjustment of cost, net losses to net cash provided by operating activities. Probably they have an holding, because all the time we talk about operating activities, that means this is their operating business. Probably they have a managing business somewhere, or a holding business somewhere, or managing business. That's how I name that. But I don't really see, because all assets are reported here. Probably I'm wrong, because holding setup, they take all assets through the holding. But I'm not yet expert on structure of businesses. But when you start a business, you have a formation, and then when you grow a business, you have to change that formation. When you want to expand, you have to change another formation, because every stage comes with different strategies. And when you reach some level, you have to build structures. One of them structures is holding-based structure, trust-based structure, that's how business. Otherwise, you're gonna lose a lot of money, gonna lose a lot of opportunity. Sometimes it just ask you to be a multinational, company, just like Apple, Microsoft, are intrinsically to be, let's say by abuse name U.S. company. I can say yes by starting, but actually they're multinational. They're not U.S. company no more, They're multinational company. So they can cover the world, because they're not, I always say it's a mistake to say they can, because they already did. That's what I'm supposed to say, because they conquer the world. It's now a multinational, not a U.S. company, but a multinational company starting from U.S. That's why it makes difference. And having that setup give you a lot of benefits. I don't know if the headquarters still in Cupertino, but they have some setup with airlines, because in airlines, every U.S. company don't pay taxes, and they find way to don't pay federal tax, but they're still having other tax, employment tax to pay, They're still having different taxes, When you don't pay something, there is something else you have to pay. So those are structure of business. You don't know how to do that, find expert. You don't reach that level, you're gonna lose a lot of money, and you're gonna close. A small business suffer a lot because of that kind of idea of staying small business. You gotta grow, you gotta expand, but on growth and expansion, you need different kind of strategies. They're not the same. Tax strategy, marketing strategy. You want to show up to China, Japan, or Indian, whatever African country, or whatever Europe, I don't know. You're gonna have a partnership with news company, I don't know, to be able to pass your heart there, right? You don't just spread from US, Fox News, and you assume that they're gonna see that sometimes they don't have Fox News. It's happened, the strategy gonna change. You're gonna sign new contract with TV-based companies, news-based companies to spread your word. You have a package of hard you have been building, but you have to buy for space. They can spread the word. It's not just you have the Fox News or the Bloomberg or whatever, the Forbes. I don't know which channel you need to buy to make it works. But when you go to India, you have to go local. The strategy is not US no more. It's US for what you have done already, but it become Indian, whatever. You can take a big group with the power to spray all Africa, a big group with the power to spray. The strategy change. It's just like I can't just take the same boat supporting 2 person only. Let's say kayak for 2 person, try to fit 10 person on it. You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna have a problem. So we won't go that far. So it's just an example I can give you. I like allegory or images to talk about things. They look like stories, but it makes you having the right draw of what I'm trying to say. The kayak won't go anywhere. So that's how it works. So let's go back to the documents. So here we can go down. We have investment activities, financing activities. It's really well informative. It's really informative document. So probably I'm gonna stop taking. I'm gonna just scroll down, digital assets. You know what it is. You can have time to go read it. You can watch this video to learn about what I'm saying or what I'm about to say here, and you can learn a lot more things, staying informed. And coming our page will be a great way to do that, because it will be our business talks once in a while to talk about a specific company: BlackRock, Blackstone, Carly, Walkfield, Brookfield too. I don't know. There is a lot of fund. KKR, Amazon. They all have the same kind of document, but it's not built with the same chart, the same form, but necessarily the same information, close to the same information: profit and loss statement, income statement, balance sheet. These are documents normal and serious company don't have to have. And it sounds to be, I never checked if a 10K SEC is mandatory, but most of the SEC things are mandatory, filings for shares, books of shares, whatever dilution you're trying to put in place, whatever is a decision from shareholder meeting or what meeting of shareholder or what, you have to comply with some kind of legislation. But this is happen just to be a choice, so you can do that choice, but probably that choice apply to all company, including you. And this is, I show you that it is class A stocks and class B stocks. So these are all our kind of information. You can see deferred product licenses revenue. It means that someone probably pay for it, but you not yet pay, because companies do have different way to work with you. They have a 30 days deferred effect, 60 day, 90 day on purchases. And because I said that because I did that a lot, working with companies before purchasing the product, we need to do a test. Sometimes it happens just like it's a normal accounting things, that you can go grab items. Companies already know who you are. They have your year hand. They have some kind. You have to deposit. You have to give them some kind of document first to start working with them. And when it happens, you can give them things for sale, and they pay within 90 days, if that's what your pro forma is saying. I don't know how it. Sometimes people name that quotes, but most of the time where I have been working, we name that pro forma, a 19 days deferred pro forma. So you can take any coupon you want, you pay it by 19 days. It's just a good way to do business, because imagine I take that now and I have a 3 months contract to finish, and I finish, I get paid, I have 2 more months to pay you back. I already get paid, So it makes sure to the supplier that you're gonna have his money, so I can pay you before the 90 day. Because my contract, the contract for the one I'm coming to take equipment to your business, is a 30 days or a 1 month contract. So I'm gonna take the equipment, by 1 month I'm finished. I'm gonna get paid. And sometimes even if you can't get paid, you take the contract and put to a bank. You have a loan. It works, and they just have to give their word. They're gonna receive a call. I receive a document for this company. They're asking for some kind of loan, and you have a contract with them. What is the contract? How it is, and that bank also know what kind of financial record they have, what deposit they have in their bank by talking to bank. So I'm pretty sure the loan will be approved, and they have money. So when you pay, the money passes just through. Sometimes you don't have to ask for loan. You can ask for a line of credit. They don't pay, to try to have more leverage on interest. So there is different way you can do things, so to try to avoid having problems. But you have to have accounting, genius accountant. Reason I say a genius is someone. Now, an idiot is someone who's genius on another field. I can be an idiot on, I don't know, which field, on hiking trees or mountain, but I'm good at coding, I'm good at taxes, good at biology, good at statistics and maths, not good at hiking. So reason why I'm idiot at hiking, if I have to say that. So it's just like we all genius at some point. It's just matter of focus. Where is your focus? And I was watching The Secret in French language. They say l'énergie va là où l'énergie va là où l'attention va. They say that your energy goes where you put your focus on, some kind of like that, something like that. So where you focus the most is where your all energy goes, you know. And you're gonna be expert in that field at some point. So we are at 92, page 92. So almost finished is 22, 122. So there is a lot more information to discover here. You're gonna have time to read this one. This was about MicroStrategy, the company, and other company do have same documents, say this kind of document to put on display in their website or anywhere. They have been asking to do so, you know. It's for investor, interesting people who like learning through companies before making decisions. That's what is the most recommendation you can give to someone who try to put his money in a certain kind of company. Study the stock, and this is the way you can study a stock. One of the way, probably the only one, if I'm not wrong. But there is different way you can do that. You can watch the return, and it's here. And this is CONEX information you can have by going through these links. You know, second related certificate of incorporation for the registrant. You know, it's just like everything's amended, bylaws, stuff like that. Form for certification of class A common stock of registrant. The registrant is the actual company we're talking about. The registrant is the one, is the company. So everything's here. You just have to click. You're gonna have the information. You're gonna read it. So there is no protocol, not something they try to hide. Or if you click on it, you're gonna get arrested. No. If you click on it, you just click on it. That's what's gonna happen. And this is the board of director, and then executive officers, members, not secrecy. So this is the number of documents company have to flourish, you know, on display on the website. Sometimes to other entity aside to a lot more document depending on your registration and forms and whatever. If you have a business on corporation, some corporation do have requirement on filing. Some corporation have quarterly filings. Some corporation do have limitation on stakeholders. And so on and so on and so on, you know. And also you can build companies starting somewhere with different applications in just different places. So your assets as a business, US business, can't just be in US, you know, it can be everywhere. It's just like you want to make profit whenever you happen to make profit somewhere, you won't bother yourself. You're gonna go there to make profit. It happened just Apple open up the company in India, open up its art to India actually, you know, and they're gonna happen more and more for different kind of companies. You know, that's how a business works. It's happen you're gonna do business on the sky. Why is the legislation to open a business on the sky? You're gonna do that, and then you're gonna make profit. You know, because the all objective at the end is to make what? Profit. It's not just to open up a company. It's not to have store because they're gonna cost you money. What we mean expenditure or expenses. So, and to face them, you have to mitigate the all accounting equation to balance. So you need to make money because the all accounting equation always have to balance. I like that answer. The accounting equation have to balance. So you have profit and loss statement, income statement, and cash and statements of cash flow. Yes, balance sheet, profit and loss statement, balance sheet, and cash statement of cash. I'm sorry, sometimes I talk too fast. I don't see my teeth going through. So I'm gonna wish you to have an awesome, wonderful day. It was really beautiful to talk about these numbers, and don't forget, always know your numbers. Always know your numbers, and numbers matter when it comes to business. You know, people matter, but numbers matter too the most because people get paid by some kind of numbers, right? Or paycheck. withholding on taxes. That's the beauty part of the government. Government don't want to lose that part. Taxes. There is milk, sugar, and water on that kind of topic. Taxes, profit, and numbers. Milk, sugar, and water. So I'm gonna have you one of these days back in here talking about probably something similar or something around what we used to do. Don't forget, my name is Ray Herman Ongosuliwa. On this live, I'm a U.S. federal tax professional, a life coach for tax advices, the owner and strategist behind the Futurist Society. Have a nice and wonderful day. God bless you.